Joining us now in studio is Professor of Political Science at Warburg College, Fred Waldstein, to talk about this year's election. And so kind of tell me, how has this year's election been different than years past?
It's so different, Caitlin, in almost every respect. From the announcements of the candidates, it's been different. It looks like it's going to proceed that way right up until the very end. One of the challenges for anybody in the business of political science is that we try to look at past behavior as a predictor of trends. And this has been an election year where those trends just haven't existed, in large part because Donald Trump runs unconventional.
Okay, and so with that, I guess how has the media kind of played a role in what the public knows about the candidates and regarding the different issues?
Well, I don't think the public knows a great deal about the issues because what the media has focused on during much of the race is the flamboyant language and the divisiveness that's arisen. To a certain extent, that's what one would expect. The media wants to create an audience, and Donald Trump knows how to say things that creates a lot of buzz, and that buzz gets covered. I think what's lost in the translation of that is what do we really know about where the candidates stand on the issue, the very important issues we face. What does it mean to say we're going to make America great again? There's very little substance, and I think the Clinton campaign started out with more substance, but it's kind of gravitated in that same direction. Campaign gone on, and I think they probably felt they needed to because they saw how the media was reacting to the different kinds of dynamics that the Trump campaign was bringing in.
Right, and kind of talk about how maybe older generation has kind of, been affected by this election. And also you teach college students, and a lot of these college students may be first-time voters.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the difference between maybe people who have voted in past elections and people who are first-time voters, this being their very first election.
Well, it's interesting. I think there's probably less difference in some respects than there have been in the past because it is so different. Everyone's kind of confused. I mean, you expect college students to, particularly first-time voters, to kind of wonder what's going on and what's this all about. And we had the forum over in the Lyceum a little bit early on in the semester, and students asked interesting questions about the process. But, when you go out into the public and talk to some of the older people, they're just angry. They feel like since 2008 they've been left behind in large measure by the economic changes that have developed. And you hear this all the time. We want change. We're dissatisfied with the status quo. And they think that Donald Trump, more than any other candidate, represents that change that so many people seem to be looking for.
Mm-hmm. And the presidential candidates both have very strong personalities, but I guess what can you say about the role of their vice president picks?
Well, Mike Pence is a very true and tested, staunchly conservative individual. He was in Congress, and he certainly has been as governor of Indiana. What we know about the candidates, the vice presidential candidates, is they're primarily surrogate for the person at the top of the ticket, and they try to fill that role as best they can. Tim Kaine kind of came into the nomination as being one who is known as a bridge builder, who could work across the aisle with people in the United States Senate. Had that reputation when he was governor in Virginia, even back to his days in city council in Richmond. But he's actually been more of the pit bull attack dog type in this campaign, which is not unusual for the vice presidential candidate to take on that role. So in that respect, it's fairly traditional.
Right. Well, I'll be interested to see, I guess, who gets the presidential and kind of who falls with vice presidents as well. So
Won't
thanks so
we
much.
all?
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after the break.